Hey everyone, welcome back again to my channel. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell as well. So let's draft the pattern for the short. Mark out half an inch and also 1 inch. I'll go ahead, I'll connect it to a straight line. I'll mark it all the way down to the end of the pattern. So I'll go ahead, I'll connect. After marking it out, I'll connect it using a ruler. I'll connect it like that. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and also share this video. Then if you've been here, you guys rock. Thank you so much for being here. So so I'll go ahead, I will place the 2 inches. Remember, we're taking off 2 inches for the waistband. So from these 2 inches here, I'll be taking down the measurements for the short, that is the short length. I'll take down the short length and I'll be adding 1 inch for hemming allowance as well. So I'll take this measurement down. I'll take it down, and after taking down the measurement, I'll go ahead and I'll connect it using a ruler. So I'll just mark it out like that and keep marking it out. So I'll connect it using a ruler. So after doing that, this is what I have. So what I'll be doing next now is that I'll be taking out the flap length or the crotch length. Some we call it flap here, some call it crotch. So I'll be marking out the crotch line. If you're curious about how to take measurement, you can also watch my previous video on how to take measurement for kids. I will place the link on the description box below. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and I'll be coming up from that crotch line. I'll be coming up by 1.5 inches. As you can see what I'm doing, I'll be coming up by 1.5 inch. I'll take it down and I'll also connect it. So after marking it out, I will go ahead and label it. This is the waist, this is the hip, this is the crotch or the flap line, and there is the length of the short. The other 1 inch there is for the hemming allowance. So what I'll be doing next now is that you can pause this video to see how to get your crotch extension. So I'll just mark out the front crotch extension, which is 1 inch for me, as in for my girl. So I'll go ahead, I'll mark out this 1 inch and I'll also connect it all the way down. That's how to get that from that crotch extension. It works perfectly for adults, for children. Just use the measurements, the hip measurement of the person you want to cut it out for, and just use the formula and you'll get the perfect front crotch extension and back crotch extension. So at the upper part here, which is the starting point, I will go ahead, I'll be coming in like this by half an inch. This is for kids. You can make use of 1 inch if you're making for an adult. So I'll go ahead, I'll connect this particular line to the hip line. As you can see what I'm doing, I just connect it straight like that, and from that hip line I will curve it out to the flap line or to the crotch line. This is to form the front crotch extension. If you have a French curve, you can go ahead and make use of your French curve. I don't have a French curve, so I'll just curve it out like that. And at the waist part, okay, before marking the waist part, I'll go ahead, I will take down the hip measurement starting from that 1 inch, that line. Taking away the crotch extension, I'll mark out the hip measurement divided by 4. I'll go ahead and I'll take this measurement all the way down. The hip measurement divided by 4. I'll take it all the way down and I'll go ahead and connect it using a ruler. So I'll go ahead and I'll connect it using a ruler. So after connecting it, what I'll do next now is that I'll connect this waist. I'll connect that the half inch, I'll connect it back to the waistline. Just watch carefully, you'll get what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead, I'll connect it like that. Just be watching carefully what I'm doing. I'm not good in explaining things, but I'll try my best to explain it to you so that you can get what I'm doing. I'll go ahead, I'll add half an inch for joining it with the band. This is an allowance. I'll add the half an inch for joining it to the band. So I'll connect this half an inch like that. I won't be adding any seam allowance at the side seam, the inseam, because this is a biker short. It has to be fitted. So to mark out the back, what I'll be doing is that from this line I'll be marking out the hip measurement divided by 4. So the hip measurement divided by 4, I'll take this measurement all the way down, just like as you can see what I'm doing. I'll take this measurement all the way down and I'll also connect it like that. So after doing that, what I'll be doing next is that here for the back I'll be adding 1 inch at the inseam. I'll be adding 1 inch, that is the crotch line. I'll add 1 inch because the back is always taller than the front. So but I'll be coming in by that half an inch just like the front one. So what I'll do now is that I'll connect from this 1 inch down to the actual waistline. Just watch carefully, you'll get what I'm doing. So from this particular place I'll connect this like that. So after connecting it like that, I'll go ahead and I will also connect it from this waist, that 1 inch, to the hip line like that. Just watch carefully and you see what I'm doing. I'll go ahead, I'll connect it like that. So after connecting this like this, what I'll be doing next now is that I'll be adding the back crochet extension. I'll be adding the back crochet extension. So to add, we've already seen how to get the crochet extension. Just all you have to do is just pause the video to get the details. I'll place my measuring tape at 90 degrees. So I'll go ahead and connect it, cover out the back crochet extension. Did you see what I just did? Your French curve can work perfectly here. So at the short length I'll be adding just 1 inch and I'll connect it from that back crochet extension down just like that. So after connecting it down like that, what I'll be doing next is that I'll be adding that same half an inch as the waist for joining the band, the waistband. So I'll go ahead, I'll connect the half an inch like that. I'll go ahead and I'll connect it. I'm sorry, I'll try my best for you to see what I'm doing, and I'll also try my best to explain to you what I'm doing. I'm not good in explaining things, I keep on saying this, but I'll be trying my best so that you will fully understand what I'm doing. So remember, this measurement is for kid, is for my daughter. She's 6, she will be 6 by October, so this is her measurement. But you can also use this same method and use the measurement for the adults to make the adults size. You can make this for yourself as well. Just use your own measurement. So here I'll be just be connecting it. This is the front pattern. I'll just connect it back like that. So you can go ahead and cut this out if you want, but if you don't, all you have to do is that you take the thigh measurement, as you can see what I'm doing, and from that flap extension you just flap line or the crotch line, connect it down to the length of the short. This is to make it to be a little fitted down there, since we are making a biker short, you know, and all majority of the biker shorts are always fitted. So I'll go ahead and I'll also be doing the same thing for the back pattern. as well. Just watch carefully what I'm doing, and I'll also connect the back pattern as well. So after marking out the time measurement at the back pattern, just like what I'm doing here, I'll try my best for you to be seeing what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead, I'll just connect it from the crotch line down to the short length, just like I did on the front one. So just try to shape it out, make it to be a little curve. Don't let it be that sharp, just make it to be a little curve. Then this is it. You can label it now. This is my back and this is my front, the front pattern and the back pattern of the short. So after cutting this out, you go ahead and make sure that you have that your inseam are aligned together to get the measurement you want. So go ahead and trim off the remaining excess at the back crotch, at the back crotch extension. Just go ahead and you just watch, you see what I'm doing. Just trim off that should be half of an inch. Just trim it off like that, and everything now is perfect. So what I'll be doing next now is that on the waist, if you remember, we didn't measure out the waist. This is if you want yours to just be straight and you want to add elastic on the waist, you can cut it out like that. But if you're making use of a very stretchy material that you don't need an elastic on the waist, all you have to do is just place your waist measurement divided by 4. Place your waist measurement divided by 4, starting from the inseam. You start from the inseam and you place your waist measurement divided by 4 and you mark it out. If you're using a super stretchy material, even if you're using a super stretchy material, so you have to minus some of the allowance from your measurements. Like the waist, you might minus 1 inch from the waist, minus 1 inch from the hip, and the thigh as well, so that it will be more fitted. But if you are making use of an a stretchy material but it's not super stretchy, you can just cut it out like this, and also do the same thing for the back as well. Starting from the center back crotch extension, just mark out the waist measurement divided by 4 and curve out your hip line. Just shape it out like that and trim it off. If you shape it out, you trim it off. But if you're making use of a material that is not stretchy like that and you want to add elastic to the waist of your own, just leave it straight like that so that it will be able to pass through your hip, and then the elastic will hold it firmly on the waist. So after doing this, this is what our pattern looks like, I mean to say. So after trimming it off, this is the pattern, this is the front pattern, and this is the back pattern, as you can see. Then for the waist measurement, you can just cut out your fabric length, just the strip of fabric 5 inches in length, and the length of your waist measurement divided your waist measurement. Don't add any allowance to it. But if you want to draft the pattern as well, all you have to do is mark out 5 inches. The 5 inches is mark out 2.5 inches, I mean to say. The 2.5 inches is because the upper part is going to be unfold. When you unfold it, you have 5 inches. But just mark out 2.5 inches here to save your pattern paper. So go ahead, place it like that. Mark out the waist measurement, as you can see what I'm doing. Trace out the waist measurement, and also at the upper part, trace out the waist measurement as well. But if you want to avoid this little mistake that I made on my own, here you have to come in a little more. Don't just take it straight like that. Come in a little more so that it will be more fitted at that upper waist. So just cut this out on fold and also cut it out. If you cut it out, then you have to add 0.5 inches hemming, no, 0.5 inches allowance for joining it to the short. I didn't add any allowance here, so I'll go ahead, I'll just write it down where I'll be adding the allowance. So this is it, guys. The pattern is already done, so we are through with the pattern. So this is what I have here. I've also labeled this so that whenever I want to cut out using this pattern, I will know what to cut out or how to cut it out. So this is our pattern. See you next on my video on how to sew this short. Happy sewing.